From the top rope, this is the Squared Circus.
Square! Ah! That's the occult phenomenon.
You know what I think?
Recording in progress.
I realize I like paint.
That was a botch. Hold on.
So, anyway, that's how it's gonna go.
Collision. So after we talked about, like, I don't know if this is a show I want to watch every week, we've watched it every week.
We have watched it every week. And this one was, that is true. Well, because I so happen to be home. Like, that's not necessarily going to happen all the time. But I have been home. So I've been like, all right, well, fuck it, because I've been trying to get shit off my brain. So this week, though, like, you said the ratings were the same from last week.
Yeah.
And it's interesting though, because I'm wondering what's going to be like next week because of that tag team. That tag team is like going around like as like one of the best tag teams that that they ever had.
That FTR versus Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, there's like
great.
a lot of people. Like, there hasn't been one like denying that was such amazing tag team. So like, it took up half the show. First of all,
yeah, literally.
So like, I'm wondering if that made it where that Battle of the Belts that normally is useless maybe got more people to watch it just because it was trending of that tag team. So people are like, oh, what's going on? And then they just stuck around.
Yeah, I actually watched Battle of the Belts. I wasn't going to, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like going to sleep, and I DVR'd it. So I'm like, I'll watch this 45 minutes with fast forwarding. Yeah, and it was fine.
But you know what, though? I don't think any belts has been changed.
I don't think one in any of the Battle of the Belts. 7 of them have had.
Yeah, any of them that won. So it's like people are starting to get used to it. You're like, you could do at least one. But then who are you going to do? You ain't going to fucking put Cassidy to lose at a Battle of the Belt, because like they know that they don't know if people are going to watch it, so it's kind of like, okay, it's just another, I feel like it's just another hour special they could do to get more people on that they don't have to do that. It's just, I don't know, but when you have not one belt change,
I think there's a business reason for it. I don't know exactly why they do it. There might have been some agreement where like they are obligated to provide an extra hour of television every 3 months or some shit. I don't know.
This seems weird.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna do that, they should have at least like make it interesting where like one of the belts, Jesus, like one of them just changes. Like,
I mean, that's hard because nobody watches it. You want a belt change in a show nobody watches?
Well, the reason why no one watches, well, first of all, it's a Saturday night, but the reason why no one watches it is that they're getting used to the fact that no one changes, so it's like pointless shows. It's pointless match, because not one of those matches really made any difference of any storyline or anything. It's just kind of put together just to have your belts.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like a couple of the matches were set up in a really forced feeling way, like the night before on Rampage.
Yeah. They
it was
but one thing.
Yeah, that tag match was amazing. And I remember, like, I think when, sorry, you were going to say something, but
no,
before we go on that tangent, when a match does like a thing you don't like and you still love the match, I think that's a successful match. Like, you and I were talking about it while we were watching it, and I remember it came down like 5 minutes left. And I was like, oh, I hope they don't tap out. I hate when somebody taps out with like 2 minutes left. And he tapped out with like 2 minutes left. I'm like, you know what? That was an awesome match. I don't care that happened.
That's not what I meant. When we were talking about it, I meant is I hate it when they tap out after the bell has rung.
Said.
See, that's what I meant too. Is like when, because they had a lot of times when like it was that, and it'd be 1-1, and then like the third one, they would tap out after the bell's rung, so it didn't mean anything. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that's when like I wasn't mad at the fact that they won, and I would rather have them have 2 wins over the one before got out.
Yeah,
but like one of the things that I said before was like, so now they have this great ass tag team match. If you're gonna get now next week should be special though, because you would think that people are like, okay, well, they had this really amazing match that everyone's rented. So let me check out what next week's going to be. So you have to somewhat top that or do something to make people grasp it. Because when the ratings go down a little bit and they were consistent, but like now if you have this and people are talking, you have to have something to grab them.
That's tough.
You know,
I don't know.
and
You
and
can't have a pay-per-view level match every week on
That's
TV.
that's my point when I the last time, like they did this a lot where they had so many great pay-per-view matches, but it could be the fault of them only having full pay-per-views a year, so they have to do this. But when you do these high-level matches and then all of a sudden you go to the pay-per-view and not one of those matches matches up to this, it's kind of hard. Because people are paying $50 for this pay-per-view. So now if you're saying, wow, well, why should we pay this for $50 when we're getting better matches for free? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard. I think it's hard to
I mean, it's hard because you don't want to say don't give a great match. We want to see that great match. But I don't know. It does paint them into a corner a little bit. I also feel like I'm starting to feel like it's a little bit limiting. Like, well, how many collisions have there been? 4? 3 or 4?
I think it's like 4. Yeah, 4.
It feels like really like with the sort of divided roster, the way they're doing it, it feels real limited. If more people don't start coming over, it's going to feel like
it does because it doesn't because they're showing the same people, so people are going to get tired of it.
You got Hobbs, you got Starks, you got Juice and Jay White, you got FTR, Punk, Miro, Andrade, and House of Pancakes.
And so therefore, like, and even like the people that were wrestling, it's like you can't just throw someone in there just to throw them in there in a week and then all of a sudden they're back onto Dynamite. Like it does feel, but again, it's only been 4, so we don't know. Like, I mean, maybe they have some kind of plan.
What's going on with Thunder Rosa? I feel like she's constantly like talked about. She's going to be showing up. She's in the ads. She's in the.
I'm sure she's almost ready. I'm sure she's going to go on that show too, just because no one wants to work with her. So it's all the bad people that no one wants besides FTR. It's all the bad people. Yeah,
not everybody on the show though. I mean, there's people. I don't know. Anyway, what else happened? There was the women's match, which wasn't bad. It needed more fucking time though.
It's kind of hard to do that when the other match took an hour.
Yeah, it is, but
they could have taken out of the House of Pancakes out, and
they didn't need to. Time. Didn't need to happen that night. They didn't need to have the House of Black match, or they could have been like a 30-second squash match and done their little tease with Andrade, and it could have been quick. That match was like 8 or 9 minutes. The women's match. I'm glad. I mean, it wasn't terrible, and it's cool that they're putting Willow over like that. She's a fan favorite. She came in, the fans immediately took to her, and they're riding her momentum, and I think that's great, right? I mean, that's a lot of the reason that people gravitated to AEW who were frustrated with WWE years ago, where they weren't giving them what the fans wanted. AEW is conscious of giving the fans what they wanted, riding wrestlers' momentum when they have this organic sort of like momentum that gets them over with the fans. But give her a better match, especially for the finals of a tournament.
Yeah. Like, the House of, I don't even know, what the hell do they call it again? House of what? I keep on thinking pancakes.
It's House of Pancakes. That's what they're about.
What's their actual name again?
It's the House of Black, but the two of them House together is the Kings of the Black Throne.
So, but why couldn't they like just do the whole thing with Andrade while they were fixing the next match? Like, just do a promo. Like 30-second promo. I'm talking and then him coming in instead of wasting another 6-7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just to me that I thought that was kind of weird. But like it is like that's just I guess nitpicking. Then you had the last match of Starks and
was Punk. Was those all the matches? Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Because like I said, the first match took an hour. So Punk and Ricky was like, 15-20 minutes. which did actually lead into the Battle of the Belts. I don't know if you've seen that, how like they actually kept it going for a little bit longer.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and then I heard a lot of people got mad, like they heard mixed reviews of like they were mad that Punk couldn't let him win clean, and then I also heard reviews like people saying like, well, it's cool that he got him over, and I don't know if I want a Ricky heel yet. I think he's I kind of wanted him to stay the way he was, but
he hasn't been faced for that long. I don't know why they change him now.
It's probably just because to make him win that way, so Punk didn't have to lose clean.
Yeah, that's probably
and that's the thing. That's what kind of bothers me. I feel like they had to do that just to make it that way, and I'm like, that's kind of shitty because you're working around everything with Punk again.
I mean, the I don't know. Common sense would say turn Punk heel. Common sense would say turn Punk heel, full stop, right? Because of the heat he's getting, the mixed reactions he's getting with the crowd. Whatever however you think it's divided 50-50, 60-40, Punk's getting a lot of heat. His fans are still going to love him, buy all of his shit and go to all his shows. But at least the fans who are booing him are booing a heel now, right? So turning Punk heel makes sense. But then how do you do that? Common sense would say like he lost the match. He does some heel shit because, the frustration, whatever, it's typical wrestling stuff, but it works. Where you're like he's a top guy who's winning belts and everybody's talking about him. He's not supposed to be losing to some upstart, so he gets frustrated and turns heel. And I think that would have made the most sense.
Did you see who he was talking to when he went to at the end?
Oh yeah, Benoit's kid.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
I didn't see it. I didn't notice when it was happening. I saw it out after the fact. People were posting about it.
I know they can't say his name. I don't think, but like it was interesting that they did it because like I'm wondering if that's like a sign or something. Like why would you go right to him and show the cameras? So and don't get me wrong, I think that he shouldn't be penalized from his father's doing.
Absolutely not.
So I 100% agree with people saying that. I think that he's because I think he wants to get into business. He looks just like him too.
I know.
It was when I saw that, I'm like, holy, yeah, it's
It made that work that much better because even if you didn't know who he was before, you knew who he was when you saw his face.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was crazy. But like, he made sure that he went to him. You know what I'm saying? So like, that has to be a reason. That has to be a reason because otherwise, I can't imagine. You know what I'm saying? It has to go something into play of, and like it's funny how the announcer was like, "Oh, he's going to a random fan," and everyone's like, "Come on!"
I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
Yeah, they're like, "Yeah, he's going to a random fan and this and that and whatever," and like, and then you just see his face, like, "No, come on." I can't imagine that was off the cusp. Like, I can't imagine like he went off script and whatever. That's something has to.
No, that was planned for sure.
Yeah, so
he didn't just end up in the front row on the like camera side, like. By coincidence, yeah.
Yep. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But I mean, it was.
Yeah, no, it was a decent match.
Yeah, and honestly, everyone's just gonna be talking about that tag team match anyway.
Yeah.
Which is funny though, because like they both won their Owen Hart, right? Didn't she Willow win it that night too? Wasn't that the match?
Willow was that a night? Yeah.
So like they both won, but like everyone's gonna be talking about the tag team match because that overshadowed everything. So,
but I mean, it's cool that again, another reason why like fans kind of gravitate to AEW is like we want to see the newer people get more, be portrayed with more credibility than they were being treated in WWE. And they're doing that, and they're putting people over.
They really are. Yeah, they really are.
And that was cool. I mean, listen, I know people can nitpick it. Punk put him over. Well, did he really put him over because he won dirty? I mean, honestly, my feeling about it is because it's CM Punk, because his name has so much cachet, even putting him over in a dirty way like that, it's still putting him over.
Yeah.
He was undefeated, right? I mean, I don't know how many matches he had before he went out, but
No,
like,
I think someone beat him.
did
I
somebody
think
beat him?
I could be wrong, but I thought
Maybe
someone
you're
did him
right.
before he was a champ.
Okay, you might be right. But it's a big deal, especially for somebody like Ricky
Yeah,
Starks, who was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
still kind of like,
And honestly, they're all because Willow, Ricky, what's called Cassie still owns the fucking belt. Who's the other people who have belts again? MGF.
yeah,
So they're all like, I don't think there's any of the WWE people that they say was champion. Are they? Oh, Tony Storm. Isn't
well,
Tony Storm?
she was, FTR was,
You know what though? FTR.
um,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really count them as WWE people because
yeah,
there was a shitty run and they were so much huge in the Indies anyway. But like it was a real shitty run, I think, in WWE. Like I don't even count that.
yeah. No, I
Like
agree. I mean,
I don't count them as WWE guys. I know that sounds weird, but
House of Black is 2/3 WWE guys. But
oh,
again,
they're the trios, aren't they?
yeah. But you know,
You made a good point.
Malak,
Like, is there any trios left?
there's no trios. They gotta start doing something with that again.
The lead is, I guess, the elite. If the
Oh,
best
wait.
friends want to do with Cassidy,
We forgot. Sorry, we forgot Statlander, who has a TBS belt, also not a WWE person.
oh, okay.
And I agree that there's a thing where it's like some people are WWE, but I wouldn't count them, like Jericho or Moxley, you know, or people like who were there for like, you know, a cup of coffee, like Trent Beretta or
Yeah.
Juice Robinson. Like nobody even really remembers. I guess Luchasaurus was there for a second. I don't even remember that.
I still think that's funny with the whole Christian thing. I mean,
It's
we all
pretty
know what's
funny.
going to happen. We
Oh
all
wait,
know
he
what's
has a
gonna
belt
happen.
too. It's another
Yeah.
belt we forgot. It's hella belts.
Yeah. Well, Luchasaurus has, but Christian acts like he has it.
Yeah. What was that match? Luchasaurus versus who did he fight for Battle of the Belts? I don't even remember now.
Was he on there?
He was on Battle of the Belts. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that then. I'm going to be honest. I only watched like half of it. So I wouldn't, because then I read what it was. I was
Sean
like, okay,
Spears. It was against Sean Spears, who's basically a jobber. I really like Sean Spears, actually. And that match was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
they, why did he come back?
because he's Canadian, they're wrestling in Canada, and they needed to put somebody
like,
against Luchasaurus with
no
no
seems
build.
Like Sean Spears always disappears and then comes back with like a different haircut or something, and
Sean
then like the crowd
disappears.
goes nuts. And then, and then he comes back and like nothing happens, and then he disappears again, and then comes back with a different haircut. It's like, okay, I'm back again. Like, how many times are you gonna reinvent yourself? And then Keith Lee's,
he's babyface now, and he's doing the 10 gimmick again.
Yeah, Keith Lee started doing started dyeing his hair again. He didn't.
Keith Lee, he had the beard and the full head of hair all dyed. Disappears for a minute, comes back, stops dyeing it, full gray beard, gray head. Kind of disappears for a little bit, comes back, no beard, dyed hair.
Yeah.
Just go with the gray, bro.
Yeah. Well,
his hair looked purple the last time he was on. Like,
yeah, I mean, he still gets a huge pop. So I mean, at least like the fans don't like it, but it is funny.
He's great. I mean, he's great.
Funny.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's funny though how like he disappears a bunch and like put him on it. Like I'm telling you, Rampage. If you want to do this shit, then put Rampage with a couple of people too. Then that like at least you know. Like I feel like I don't mind the idea of like some people is only on certain, because I liked Rampage when it was the four of them, when it was Ricky, Hobbs, Swerve, and fucking Keith Lee. They were the four people that was always on Rampage for the longest time.
It's true.
And it was a fun show to watch. All of them put on great matches, and then all of a sudden they split everyone up, and you're like, okay, Rampage. Ever since they all split up, Rampage hasn't been the same to me. And it's not just because of people I like, and it's not. It doesn't feel. They seem like they just kind of gave up on really trying to make Rampage something.
They did, and especially with Collision now, I think the amount of resources that they want to put towards Rampage is dwindled because they're spread too thin.
Because they almost want to make Rampage into something where they know that people might not watch it because of lateness, or they know that it's taped and this and that, whatever. Because they said, okay, well, if people are going to watch a show, we want them obviously to watch Collision more than they want Rampage.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to put more into Collision, and I feel like they just don't care as much anymore. Like it almost became like one of their YouTube shows where like just like put a bunch of shit on there and like, all right. I do, but I you know, with the rumors going on with them trying to get a cable, like, you know, like streaming service or something like that, I hope they do, because like I understand they need all those things, but I feel like the pay-per-views, if they're gonna have more, they need to have some kind of service thing, because that $50, if they're gonna keep on, because I heard like there's a rumor that they're gonna put out more pay-per-view now, and I'm like, I'm not spending $50 every fucking time. I mean, they have all in and all out. It's like a week from each other, and what, you're gonna spend $100 for a fucking now?
Yeah,
Like,
that's not gonna be a regular. That's not gonna be a regular occurrence, but yeah, I get.
No, but you know that's gonna hurt people. That people are not gonna watch. They're gonna watch.
You hurt me,
London
Tony
one.
Khan.
Well, you know, I'm saying is like they're not gonna watch the London show. They're gonna, but you know, I'm saying they'll watch that one, but they won't watch. They'll stream it. They'll fucking get a link.
Yeah.
Unless they do some kind of, because I heard that they're gonna try to do a bundle. So unless they do a really good bundle price, but it just seems kind of.
They would have to do a bundle. I mean, that makes the most sense.
Yeah. And how much, what?
I need 2 weekends in a row, have a whole day to watch wrestling.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Every fucking day now there's something. And that's why, like, when Battle of the Belts came out, I'm like, I'm normally like around the two hour mark is when I start losing it. I'm like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like after about the hour and a half, I'm like, okay, by the time like I watch the final, I'm like, it has to be really good. And I'm like, I just want to go. Like, it's nothing against them. It's nothing. It's just that I just lose like interest, and it has nothing to do with them or the matches or whatever. Just by 2 hour mark, I lose interest in anything. If I watch a movie, if a movie's 2.5 hours, 3 hours long, I'm like, my God, this is fucking forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're missing out on some good movies, man.
I don't know. Indiana Jones is 2 hours and like 40 minutes.
You gotta watch it at home. Don't go to the theater to watch a long movie like that. If you're gonna watch fucking Ben-Hur or some shit, you need a bathroom break. You need to pause it.
Damn well, London is gonna be like fucking 5 hours long,
at least.
And that's gonna be ridiculous. Like, I don't even. What day does that follow? I gotta see if I'm even off on the day. What does that follow on?
I forget.
I wouldn't know yet until because I think it's the 27th of August, so I'll be that Sunday.
Shit! I think they might do Eddie versus Shingo at All In.
Oh,
yeah, because he did like a promo at the G1. It was a cool promo. I meant to send it to you. I mean, it's not his best promo, but it's pretty cool. Where he calls out Shingo. I guess he wrestled. I haven't watched any of the G1, but. He calls out Shingo for like, you know, a future match. And then just side note here. And then he doesn't call out, but like he addresses Mark Briscoe. I guess Mark Briscoe is wrestling against Claudio for the belt at
really?
Death Before Dishonor. And Eddie's like, listen, I can't be at Death Before Dishonor because I'm doing the G1 and this is what's important to me. I've always wanted to be in the G1. This is my dream. So I can't be there. But Mark Briscoe, you need to beat Claudio. You need to do it for me and for everybody else. It's a cool promo. I've never seen somebody do a promo like asking somebody else to beat somebody else.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Do you think it's all like, it's probably all like even a work now too? Like they probably don't even hate each other anymore.
I don't think they do.
I think now it's just gotten to the point that it's just part of like, because Eddie Casey, now that you said his name, is one of the most like, he stays in character 24/7, like 24/7 when on his social media, when he's in live, like he's just like, he great. Does not, yeah, he's almost like he's nowhere. He's not like the Undertaker, where like in the characters and stuff, but like Undertaker stayed in his character for like 30 fucking years. And now all of a sudden he's starting to like be out of it with interviews and this and that. But Eddie just does not change. Like he does not change.
The Undertaker was the gimmicky of gimmicks.
Yeah, but like I'm just shocked like how but is he holding the belt there or he's not allowed to?
Oh no,
Eddie?
he's got the New Japan Strong belt,
Okay.
Eddie. You don't. None of those matches are title matches. They're all just part of the
The
tournament.
G1s, yeah.
Um,
But like, but you said that he has to do it the full thing. Like you have to wrestle all the way until the end.
yeah, it's not like an eliminator tournament. You wrestle X number of matches, and then by the end, whoever's got like the best record.
He's better hurt. Hope he doesn't get hurt then, because I mean that's just like a week or two right after G1 ends.
Oh God, I know.
Because if it's the 27th, I think like G1 ends in like the 13th or some shit like that.
Man,
So that's who else is in there? Is anyone else in there from AEW?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Mm.
Archer might
just
be in
curious.
it. Like people who are like on the
Do
border.
people
I
care
don't
about him?
think I don't. You know, Archer's one of those guys that like I never cared about, and he was a big part of New Japan when I was watching the most. When he was in a tag team, the Killer Elite Squad, and I think they had the belts on and off for a period. And I did not give a shit. I did not care about the Killer Elite Squad. I didn't care about Lance Archer really that much. I remember him beating Moxley in the G1 in like Texas or some shit when they brought some G1 matches to America. But then like I saw some interviews where like he seems like a cool guy, just like a real genuine nice guy. Okay, I like him now.
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard any interviews yet. They
That stuff goes a
what
long
was
way
his-
with me.
Yeah, I know Jake the Snake's his manager, right?
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, that's fine. It's as long as he doesn't talk too much.
Yeah, he
Um,
came out for the Battle of the Belts thing, and it was, it worked. You know, I mean, you don't see him too much, which is good.
But anyway, back to
Yeah.
Collision. I'm actually I work 5:30 to 2:30 in the morning, 5:30 until 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, so I probably could watch it this week as well. So far, I'm able to still watch them.
You're gonna have to tell me how it goes. I'm gonna be out of town, so I am not gonna see
Yeah.
Collision unless I can squeeze it in somewhere on like Sunday night after I get home or some shit. But we'll see. I don't even know what
I'll
the
let you
card
know.
is, so I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, I'll see tomorrow. See if I don't watch Dynamite tomorrow, I'll watch it Thursday. Because I'm not, like I said, I gotta wake up early every
Dude,
fucking day now.
tomorrow Dynamite, and we're totally off track now, but
Who
like
gives a shit?
fucking debut of Kota Ibushi.
Oh.
I'm watching that shit. I want to see it live. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so I'm gonna try.
when did you hear about what happened with him? Supposedly he was lost in the airport.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He was supposed to show up, but he was lost in the airport. And then so my girlfriend was out of town when the last Dynamite aired, and she's not a huge wrestling fan, but she watches when I watch, and she has her favorites, and she loves Kota Ibushi. For various reasons, some which are obvious, but I was so excited. I wanted to like show her, and like I was watching in one room and my phone was in the other room, and I ran in to like take a picture to send her, and I couldn't get it in time, so I waited till she came back, and I showed her the clip, and she was just so stoked. And rewatching, it was a little weird. It was a little corny the way they did it, where they had to put like, and a little forced, where they had to put Kenny's head in the chair and then pass him the mic. What do you have to say right now?
Yeah,
Watch the screen. But it was still exciting the second time, even watching it, and the crowd going crazy for Kota Ibushi. And I was explaining to her how he like got they couldn't find him in the airport. So I try to look it up. I searched Kota Ibushi Airport. And I found a thing that's like from 3 years ago that was like Kota Ibushi tends to get lost in airports.
It's so funny.
That's amazing. She's like, that makes me like him even more.
That's but he's now like All Elite, right? Didn't they sign him?
I don't know. I could see them. I could see him not wanting to sign because he's kind of like, he seems to be commitment phobic. You know, like the reason he's not signed with New Japan is because he was not trying to like.
You know, he actually might make more money that way.
He could.
To be honest
Yeah.
with you, because if you're not doing contracts and like if you're doing all these like couple matches here and there, you're probably getting paid more just to get you to do them. And then all of a sudden he can go to anywhere else. Now he's free to do anywhere else. Like he probably has it because if he has a known name, you know.
One other thing about Collision that this made me think of it being able to like go different places. I don't know if you noticed this past episode, it was Ian Riccaboni announcing instead of Kevin Kelly.
Oh,
And I actually really liked that. I thought he did a great job. But it's also, to me, it's just cool. I mean, it's another AEW thing where it's just like they let people do what, you know, what they need to do. They're not too like, you know, authoritative over like being allowed to do other work. So Kevin Kelly is out doing the G1. So they brought Ian Riccaboni in from Ring of Honor to do Collision. And it's like everybody wins. Kevin Kelly gets to go and do his thing. Ian Riccaboni gets to do his thing. I mean, that's great. And I thought he did a great job.
Likes it better because he's now on TV, like more, you know, like than the Ring of Honor stuff. Because most
for
people
both
are
of them,
not. Yeah,
it's better for both of them because they get to do more stuff. They get to not do necessarily the same thing every week. They have variety in their work.
I could totally understand why they don't want to have a merger to like for all of them, but like it's nice that all of them are letting them all do like the relationship they have with New Japan is really good because it's just a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for everyone. So
I think it's really cool.
That's why like I'm hoping that they could like work with it because if they could work with Impact and work with all these different people, not get like contracts on them, but just like hey, like how about we do this and this and that, whatever. It's almost like it's not it's going to show something big. And this would never happen if it wasn't for AEW. So with no matter all the trolls or what everyone says bullshit about either company or this and that, you would have never seen this if AEW never was here.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? You would, and I think that's kind of cool. They actually brought something new where now you can have these dream matches. You can have these, you know, different swaps out here and there and like seeing different things so things don't get stale. It would have never happened. Never happened.
Yeah. And it feels like the norm now because it's been a few years, but you know, it's important to keep that perspective. Like that's still pretty important. That's important really to wrestling in general.
And just wrestlers themselves. Like they're probably happy as pig and shit to be able to do all this shit.
Yeah,
because they know
absolutely.
that if everyone's like, oh, sign a WWE, like if they sign a WWE, they can't even fucking do Twitch. They can't do any of these. Like you can't do anything. So it's like, yes, it might be the big leagues, like that people say, but I'm like, some people are just happy. I'm like, hey, they're probably making a decent amount of money anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're underpaid. Don't get me wrong, like some of them, but like they're making decent money and they get to do and venture out their level. Like, you know, doing out their love, whatever. Like Adam Cole gets to do like his Twitch thing and he does a lot of the video games. I'm very happy that they had that they allowed the party on Up Up Down Down because Adam Cole was there and Claudio was there. And cool. That was huge. That was huge because it's like, all right, you have two people from now AEW still doing it with two people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the works was with that, but it was just kind of cool to see that happening where they were all friends and they all had to enjoy them. And like, they'll spend like 2 hours playing fucking Uno, but like just seeing like how fun they were having and like laughing and like, you could tell that they missed each other doing that. Like, so that was kind of cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's good for AEW too, obviously, because it allows you to keep a bigger roster. But obviously you can't always have room for everybody every week. They can go and do other stuff.
And most of
Right?
them, I think, do. I think most of them do, because I feel like, especially when you get to a certain age as a wrestler, you kind of want to do other things because it's like, your body can't do it all the time anymore.
That's
So
true.
you have to have some kind of shits going on. So I feel like, so if you're stuck in WWE, let's say, until you're fucking 40, 45, and then you retire, like, okay, now I'm 45. I don't know what I want to do now.
Yeah.
But at least these people are getting into different things before they even have to worry about that.
Yeah. And if you're
You
in
know?
WWE and like there's a period of time where they have nothing for you, you're just sitting backstage watching everybody else work. At least in AEW, like, well, I'm not in any stories right now. I'm not in any angles. I'll go work some indie dates, and you can like keep yourself
Yeah.
fresh and get reps
Yeah.
in and stuff, you know.
Do you think this Maj Podge of an episode, we're gonna go the full entire?
I know we're gonna come within seconds. Well, we've said a lot of nothing.
And that's it, folks.
And I think that's the theme of our podcast. A lot of nothing.
Collision's good. A lot of nothing.
And just end it randomly when we see the time ticking down. Oh, we're out of time. I guess we're done. There's no conclusion.
There's no conclusion. So what's your grade on, what's it called? Collision. Click.
Yep.
Not that anyone makes it this far anyway. We could literally say whatever the fuck we want in this minute and 25 seconds and no one will hear it.
I'm still not going to do that though. Just in case that one person fast forwards to the end, like, oh, they said this.
You're gonna. Oh no, I wouldn't say anything bad, but I'm just saying right now, no one's gonna hear this talk. None of us.
True.
Our friends, our own friends. Like after about a few minutes, I'm like, okay, they probably just read the picture. Yeah, that's enough. After about 5 minutes, they get past the intro and they go, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. And on that note,
everyone has ADD, so
yeah,
this is just as long as what's it called? Collision. So
hi, babe. My girlfriend's home.
Hello. So well, we have less than a minute, and it's gonna shut off.
All right.
There's no one or nothing, does it? It just kind of just shuts off.
Should we just keep talking until it shuts off?
Yeah, because like I said, no one's gonna hear this.
This is
Fuck
like
everyone.
Kramer.
Fuck everyone.
Kramer driving. What is it? I forget. Is that the one where he has the mail truck?
So if you didn't think we didn't talk
it's
about
the dealership car,
for
Julia's
40
giving
minutes,
now we're talking about Seinfeld.
So if you didn't think we talked about nothing for 35 minutes, this last 5 minutes, whew, if you make it this far, here is the numbers for the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
29